A car backfires down the street. Your shoulders jump. Your eyes slam shut. Your heart is already pounding before your mind even knows what happened. You didn't decide to do that. Nobody trained you for it. But the real answer for why your body reacts that way is far stranger than simple nerves. It starts before thought, before language, before you were even born. Somewhere in your skull, a cluster of neurons the size of an almond has already made a decision on your behalf. It happens in under 1/10 of a second. This is the acoustic startle reflex, one of the oldest survival programs your body owns. Charles Darwin noticed it first. He fired a pistol near his own face, on purpose, just to watch what happened in the mirror. He couldn't stop himself from flinching, no matter how many times he tried. Why would evolution build a reflex that ignores your own intentions? Because intention is slow, and slow gets you killed. Picture the world your ancestors lived in. No streetlights, no walls thick enough to block a growl. A sudden crack of a branch in the dark didn't come with a warning label. It might be wind, it might be a predator. There was no time to think it through. So the brain built a shortcut. Sound enters your ear, and some of that signal takes a direct back road, straight to the amygdala, the almond-shaped alarm center deep in your skull. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping this exact pathway. He called it the low road, a route that bypasses conscious reasoning and triggers a full-body response before your thinking brain even catches up. Your muscles tense, your eyes close, your neck pulls in like a turtle retreating into its shell. All of this happens before a single conscious thought forms. Here's the part that should unsettle you. This reflex doesn't care whether the threat is real. Psychologist Peter Lang, who studied fear and emotion at the University of Florida, showed something remarkable using nothing more than a burst of white noise. Play it to someone already anxious, and their flinch gets bigger. Play it to someone calm, and it shrinks. The sound is identical. The reflex is not. Your body reads your emotional state and uses it to decide how hard to slam the panic button, which means the loud noise was never really the trigger. It was the excuse, the old spark on a fuse laid down long ago. Think about the last time a sudden sound made you jump. In that instant, some ancient part of your brain ran the oldest calculation known to any nervous system. Is this the moment I die? Most of the time, the answer is no. But your amygdala doesn't wait for confirmation. It would rather have you flinch at nothing 1,000 times than miss the one time it mattered. Researchers call this an error management strategy. A false alarm costs you an embarrassed shrug. A missed threat costs your life. Evolution rigged the system to fail loudly rather than fail quietly. You are, right now, carrying a warning system built for a world that mostly doesn't exist anymore. You flinch at a car alarm the way your ancestors flinched at a predator's roar. Your stomach drops at a notification ping, a sound engineered by an app designer, not a saber-toothed cat. The circuitry hasn't updated. Only the noises feeding into it have changed. Researchers testing people across cultures, from major cities to isolated villages with no exposure to modern noise, found the same eye squeeze, the same shoulder jump, the same neck retraction. This isn't learned from movies or crowded cities. It's older than any language. So why hasn't evolution smoothed this out now that most loud noises are harmless? Because evolution doesn't optimize for comfort. It optimizes for surviving long enough to reproduce. A reflex that occasionally embarrasses you at a fireworks show is a small price, next to a reflex too slow to save you from an ambush. Evolution kept the trait because, across millions of lives, it worked. Every time you flinch at a slammed door, you perform a tiny piece of inherited memory. A memory none of us can consciously recall, passed down not through stories, but through the wiring of the nervous system itself. Modern life has only made the mismatch louder. Cities hum with sirens, notifications, and alarms. A constant simmer of unpredictable sound. Your ancient alarm system was built for occasional spikes of danger, not a non-stop background hum. It doesn't know the difference between a real emergency and a truck idling outside your window at 2 a.m. You can't switch the reflex off, but you can understand what it's doing, and that changes something. The next time your body jerks before your mind registers what happened, you're not overreacting. You are running software that kept humans alive long enough to become human. So the next time a car backfires down your street and your shoulders jump before you can stop them, remember what's happening underneath your skin. That is not fear. That is inheritance.